Sir, what do you say to the Americans that are anxious over the fact that President Trump has yet to concede and what that might mean for the country?
Well, I just think it's an embarrassment, quite frankly.
Well, I can tell you that, there's still a lot of challenges out there still, so I think we need to get all the votes.
Well, that was Florida Senator Rick Scott, who was just elected chair of the National Republican Senatorial Committee. He is echoing other members of his party and the president. They refuse to say Joe Biden has won the election as the president-elect does move forward with what's already been a troublesome transition. This morning, Biden says he is confident that Republicans will recognize him as the next president as President Trump launches even more legal challenges. CBS 4's Deborah Alfarone is in Washington with the details.
President-elect Joe Biden is preparing to take office despite President Trump's refusal to concede.
I just think it's an embarrassment. I think it will not help the president's legacy.
Speaking to reporters in Delaware, Mr. Biden says he hopes to announce his cabinet picks this month.
We're going to do exactly what we'd be doing if he had conceded and said we've won, which we have. And so there's nothing really changing.
The Trump administration is blocking the Biden team from accessing federal agencies as well as funding needed for the transition. President Trump continues to claim widespread voter fraud despite providing no evidence.
Mr. Vice President, is it time to concede? Is there really any evidence of fraud?
Many congressional Republicans have refused to acknowledge the results.
The president wasn't defeated by huge numbers. In fact, he may not have been defeated at all.
But in the closest races of the election, Georgia and Arizona, the president trails Mr. Biden by more than 12,000 votes in both.
Wildly inappropriate.
Massachusetts Governor Charlie Baker is one of the few Republicans speaking out.
And what this president is doing at this point in time is not in the best interest of this country.
President Trump hasn't made any official public appearances since last Thursday. Today, he's expected to lay a wreath at the tomb of the unknown soldier. Deborah Alfarone, CBS News, Washington.
Now, Biden has already been taking calls from world leaders without the help of the State Department. Yesterday, Secretary of State Mike Pompeo said he was looking forward to a smooth transition to a second Trump term, but then he later walked those comments back.